You think the older you get, the more modest you
Nope.
get? So, okay, you think when you're 35, you're going to be more modest?
Okay, I won't be wearing. I probably will wear less crop tops because I am a crop top queen. I'll probably wear more bodysuits, but I don't think I'll be very modest. I'm just not a modest babe. I love to show skin. And yeah, for me, I don't see that as something I need to change just because society sees that getting older, you should dress a certain type of way. Like, genuinely, yeah, I got skin. I'm going to show it.
So, what going on, guys?
So what?
It's me, Lady Leonie.
And it's your girl, Jojo Renee. And you are tuned into episode 56 of By the Bullet Podcast. Watch us all start sounding like that.
We got a whole conversation
Watch out
just
for this.
now. 'Cause I was doing that sound. I was trying to figure out. I was like,
Well,
that
it's
sound?
similar.
Yeah.
And it's similar to Watch Out for This and Ready for the Road. But it's so crazy. But I had that a lot.
If you
recently.
want a moment, like you can just check Patreon because it's recorded.
Yeah, guys, if y'all want moments of like stuff like that,
Right before
you
we
could
record.
subscribe to our Patreon. Because usually how we start Patreon episodes is like we having a whole conversation and then we start the episode. So like you get the behind the scenes because all the casual shit. And there's so many times today where we was like, no, we're gonna talk about this on the pod. Because we have that tendency, especially if we didn't see each other for a minute or something, to just talk about everything. And it's like, okay, so what we gonna talk about when the cameras start rolling? But anyways, how are you doing?
I good. But
You-
time this come out.
You great. Wait.
By time this come
All over. Oh, just the how you doing? How you doing?
I good. I was gonna say by the time this come out, Daniela birthday passed and I get her back. So I just in the phase of planning her birthday. And
Uh-huh.
so by the time
Oh,
this come out, I get her back.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I good.
Oh, Lord, my
And
brain.
that been busy
But
with
it's not a
that.
get back thing, you know.
It is.
No.
For me it is. I don't, and I know what you mean. But I mean,
Yeah.
like,
It's more so. It's just a. It's
no. You know what I mean. I get her
Yeah.
back. I get her
But yeah. But what you was gonna say? Sorry.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
That's it.
I good. I just in that phase, like I feel like in this report evening meeting times and it's
Oh,
about
the
to be
fun
that time
stuff.
of the school year with not the fun stuff.
Oh, never
Like
mind.
the busy time, the last few weeks
Yeah.
of the ending of the school year.
The
We're
final
going
stretch.
camping again. Ugh.
Aw, you don't like the camp?
No. But I have a question, because if you was going camping, if I feel like back when we was going to school, anything that was outside of school, we was there.
Oh, sorry. I ever tell all you the story about when I went camping? Nah.
At work.
No,
I mean,
in
at
school. So I was a hard sleeper. I'm still quite a hard sleeper. Oh shit! Sorry, I shut up then. Continue.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, I feel like when we was going to school, anything to do outside of school, we was there. So
Yeah.
even if it was to leave the school for a day, if it was a hotel stay, whatever, we was there. You know, out of the, I think, 90 children in the second farm, only 30 going to camp. The other 60 don't want to come.
So they just don't need to. Like,
Well,
if you don't want
no,
to come, you don't gotta go.
That was the problem in the past few years. That like if they don't want to come, then we had to have a program for them at school because
Yeah.
they're not there. But this year they have buses, so they're gonna come school. The bus is gonna bring them to the camp. They gotta spend the camp with us for the day, and then the bus is gonna bring them back then half,
Oh.
so they could go home. So it's like they're not sleeping there,
But they
are
coming.
you coming for the activities?
Oh. Okay.
But to me, in my head growing up, it was just like sleeping somewhere else was the fun part.
That part.
But they just don't want to do it. And I just wonder if it's because it's just
'Cause
all
I know.
spoiled and city's children or whatever.
Da.
Yeah. And I find it so weird. I was trying to tell them to come. I was like, I coming. They was like, no.
Yeah, but we also had we didn't have social media the way that they have social media now.
Yeah, but and the comfort. I love the comfort of my bed right now, especially in the Netherlands. I probably wouldn't camp out like that. Well, I did camp in the Netherlands a lot, but it was for festivals, which is so different.
But they're going to have no, we're going to take away their phone.
Yeah, no, fight for that. But so the camping story, right? I don't know if I feel like I told y'all, but I used to sleep like a rock. I sleep now like a pebble a little bit. But we went camping, and I also usually the first one to go sleep. I'm the one who gets toothpaste on their face, whatever. And they was trying to wake me up. They couldn't wake me up. They had a whole video of them like moving my hands in different positions and whatnot. And we had air beds. So they couldn't get me up. Guys, I woke up on the water. They took my air bed and they put me underwater. Because, so we have Cove Bay? They're by the airport. Kristen's face is like, what the actual fuck? Why your face like that?
Because you picture in the moment.
It was a great sleep though. It was
But
one
how
of the
you
best
wake
sleeps.
up? Because that would have.
I wake up basodi. Like I wake up. Okay, no, but that ass guys, that was one of the best sleeps of my life. But the sun wake me up, of course. Oh no,
Well,
because
yeah,
okay, so Cove Bay. For the people who know Cove Bay, it's right there by the airport, and it's like different pools. So they built rocks to kind of barrier off the I wouldn't say beach, the bay to the ocean, the rest of the ocean. So you don't get waves and stuff like that. You get little, or if you close to the barrier, any wave that hitting that barrier will splash you. But I was really in the shallow part, and I just woke up. I thought I was on Castaway. In my head, I was like, am I lost at sea for a second? Because you wake up so out of it. But then I realized, like, I'm fully underwater. And I don't know, it was just such an amazing moment.
Oh my God, that would make me shit brick.
No, it was so cool because I was thinking, like, are you actually put me underwater? And I didn't know. And it's a air bed. So I just floating.
Yeah, that's the same.
I think it's because I had such a good sleep.
But I mean, the breeze on water to just feel better.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just...
Yeah, but I not gonna lie, camping was, I think, my favorite part of childhood. Yeah, they even had a time I stepped in the bonfire. Yeah, I was stupid.
But see, those are moments they need in their life.
Yeah, it's built character.
But they're not with it. And their parents also just not forcing them. My mother would have forced me. I don't know if she would have forced, but she would have, it's
Sort of persuade
to
you
me, it's
heavily.
something that, what you say, building character is part of like your experience in high school. Like, you're not getting this time back. Why would you not just come and sleep?
They feel like they're gonna miss that TikTok video.
Well, they look, what are we doing? They come in school, we're going to take their phones.
Yeah.
So they get in the class. Then I get on their phone until the bus bring them back. And they get out of the bus.
And how long they coming for?
No, the ones that camping, they also don't have it at night. So the ones that are not sleeping, they only have their phone when they're going home.
And the ones that are sleeping, how long they goes without their phone?
They're only going to take before dinner.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a couple of days they go without their phone.
No.
Oh, that would have been nice.
But I mean, the ones that ain't sleeping either, while they're there, they don't have their phone either. So it's not like you. It's really not, to me, it's not about the phone. I just think they're just spoiled. And they don't see themselves coming out of the element to do anything outside of, I don't know,
nature.
I find it weird. How are you?
I'm good. Let me see what's good about me. Today I had a whole conversation with my mother, and we found out that my household has 4 generations. So my father's a baby boomer, my mother's a Gen X, my sister's a Gen Y, aka millennial, and I'm a Gen Z. And both my mother and I are on the cusp of Gen X and Gen Z. So I start Gen Z and she starts Gen X. We bonded over that. Because I thought it was so cool.
That is.
And it's just, we were looking at the different effects of the different generations, and they say, like, baby boomers are more traditional. Gen X's are the generation that is kind of rebellious, but from a place of uncertainty, because they came out from the whole war times and all of that. So society was quite out of it, and they were kind of navigating that. And then you have the millennials that go towards more certainty, but then at the end there's more uncertainty because technology comes in. And then the Gen Zs are the digital natives, which I don't agree with, because I'm not a digital native just because I was born on Sava. I feel like maybe if I was here, I'll be more of a digital native. I feel like being born on the island, you're less exposed to the technology at that time. So we were just talking about all of that. Other than that, I'm great.
I don't know, because like at the same time when you say that, I'm like, but you guys really are the digital natives because you only know the world with smartphones.
No, yeah, but I started Gen Z. So I feel like the early Gen Zers, so the 1997, 1998, 1999, let's say, we are digital natives, but I don't feel like as strongly as when you get into the 2000s. Because I do feel like I still had that life of not having like a phone and stuff. Like I couldn't get a phone until I was
Yeah, fair
12
enough.
or
Saber.
13. And I think that's also because I was on Saber, because I feel like maybe if I was born in NL, it maybe would have been different. Also because you have screens. Saber don't even have like stoplights. Like there's not much technology on the island itself. So I think that's what takes me away from like the digital nativity shit. But stuff. Yeah, no, and other than that, oh my gosh. Both my sister and I have cat cams now.
Oh, you get them?
Yo! I need to show you a video. I just watched them in the middle of the night playing with each other. It's so fun.
Oh my god!
And then Elisha got hers yesterday. And she was sending me a bunch of videos today. The cat started like playing with the cat cam. It's the best thing ever,
I
guys.
think I need to move mine because mine's in the corner. But I want to put it next to the TV. I could get like the entrance.
Yeah.
And just also over there, we should just be.
Elisha thinking to get multiple. She want to put one in her room, have it in the living room. Yeah. For me, one is enough.
I stopped letting her come in my room.
What?
Because it's like the cat hairs.
I
Driving
understand.
me crazy on my bed.
I fully
I
understand.
finally fully get 3 weeks now with her not in my room.
But you just comb her?
Yeah.
Oh.
But still, after a while, like if she always in your room, like sometimes when in the beginning, I would go work and she in my bed all day.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
You know what's so funny? So Luna, Cookie don't give a fly anything about anybody other than her sleeping spot, food, and outside. But Luna's a cuddler, but she's also clingy, which I love. She only sleeps in my bed when I'm in my bed.
oh,
She doesn't go on my, but that's new because before she would go on my bed, she doesn't go on my bed if I'm not in my
if you're
bed.
there.
I know. It's so
Maybe
cute.
maybe she just doesn't miss me and then that's why I'm gonna be. But she doesn't sleep anywhere though. 'Cause I realize she have different spots.
Yeah.
She had it in the second bedroom, the couch. They have a chair, my office chair, or before she'd be in my bed.
Yeah. I saw a video today of a guy saying women love cats more than they love men. Like how women just love cats. I was like, what is there not to love about cats? They stush. But you know what I don't love? Because recently, so I'm going on a trip in my favorite rocket ship and I need clothes.
Oh, same.
And I know, especially for the tall girlies, you have your standard clothing sites that you go to. That's just law. For me, it used to be Topshop, actually, until they went bankrupt. But then I heard they're making a comeback now. I want, yes. So we should definitely look into that. But what we both wearing, funnily enough, PLT.
If you know me, you know you're PLT.
What? Pretty little thing to the day I die.
Yeah.
I feel like PLT was what I started shopping at when I first came up here, and I got out of that whole going to the start thing. Because like in the first couple of years, I would go to the town, start the city.
I was gonna ask what was your stores?
Zara, Bershka, the whole story, Inditex.
Inditex.
Yeah, I loved Bershka and Zara for sure, and Primark.
There's gonna be a while. Listen, I don't
I
own
lied.
anything from Bershka. I don't own anything from Startified. I don't own anything from Zara. I don't own anything from those stores.
But I lied though. H&M and Primark was my two
H&M and
first.
Primark was my thing if I
Yeah.
could physically go somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. And but then I pivoted more into Zara, but not as much because that's when I would shop online. So online is Boohoo, especially back then. Boohoo was booming, but the quality sometimes was very cheap. Fashion Nova. But I feel like Fashion Nova since I've been in Sabre.
You know what we're forgetting? Because that's where I was shopping.
Well,
Forever 21. That officially going bankrupt now.
but I understand why they're going bankrupt. Because they would ruin clothes with stupid statements on it.
That's what people say.
No, but it's so
was like, if I was
true.
not putting Pepsi on all your shots and
man.
Hello Kitty, we would buy it. But no, I had watched a video a long time ago that the reason they originally went bankrupt is because they had started opening all these stores.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then we turned into an online world.
Yeah.
And then they had to first fire all their workers, close their stores.
Sheesh.
And then at that point, then they lose a lot of money. Whereas
Yeah.
if they had kind of just keep
Stick
to
to
the
the-
key stores open in different countries, different places, and the online store, they would have maybe
Thrive.
be here. But that was where I was shopping.
Me too.
And
But
H&M.
I was shopping there a lot in Sabre. So like there, Agassi. I don't know if you know Agassi. It's like a oldie. And
Wet Seal. You remember Wet Seal?
Seal.
Wet
Even Old
Seal.
Navy I used to shop at. Like those used to
were
be my stores. Wow. But anyways, with PLT now, they do a whole rebrand. And for me, it's like, I didn't even know it was coming. But I guess because I was off of socials, a lot of people saying they was
It was
throwing teasers.
before. It was around it was literally my birthday weekend they do that.
Oh.
Because I was looking at clothes
Yeah.
to see if I should order for my birthday,
Yeah.
just for fun. And then they say something is coming.
Yeah.
And there will be something, and then I get an email saying we're gonna be offline today because something. And then literally on my birthday, cause I got a birthday gift card,
Woo.
I went on the site and they had rebrand, and I was like,
When I saw the rebrand, it looked like a horse shop. As in, like, yeah, boy.
I really want.
Yeah, no, because that is the store for the girlies. That's the store for when you want to go out. That's the store for when you want to go on vacation.
But as a thing, no, one thing I had, because online I've seen different takes. Because some people really like the rebrand. They find like it's giving modest, it's giving conservative.
It's giving uniform.
But at the same time, I feel like Priority always had that option. What I love about them is that you could have get any vibe you wanted. You could have go on it. If you wanted to be a baddie, if you want to be a baddie, you could have go there. If you wanted to be conservative, mommy going to work with your blazers, you could have go there. If you wanted to be like, emo, you could have go there. If you wanted to be a baggy girl, and you could have go there. Get your oversized, everything.
Ugh.
If you wanted your track suits, your comfort thing, your loungewear, you could have go there.
But now if you want to go to school, if you want to go to an office, if you want
That's
to go
it.
to... That's it. I
With a
don't
little
need to wear...
hints.
I don't need a closet full of 10 different blazers.
No.
Genuinely, I don't.
Or just even like, okay, some of the blazers got a little cut out, a little low cut.
Yeah, you see the one
A
with
little-
the long...
Some of it look nice on. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
right.
I'm not gonna lie. Like
But still.
if that's the day. Remember the conversation we had with Tafari, where it's like my style is everything.
Yes.
So it's like if I want that vibe, no, okay, that's where I'm gonna go. But now
Exactly.
I feel like then there's a specific place I gotta be going out to go to PRT.
And you know what annoys me? PLT is the one site, aside from ASOS, that has consistency in the tall section.
Yeah, but also in the size. Because
Oh,
Fashion Nova not consistent.
not at all. Which is annoying. But I don't know. For me, this whole clean girl aesthetic, I hear it, but don't force it on everybody. Because PLT is too widespread for them to make a whole rebrand for one like specific niche. Don't get me wrong. They still have the other stuff. But I'm upset.
But you think the clean girl aesthetic, like everybody, I didn't realize everybody was jumping on that train.
I think they're capitalizing off of like bullshit because I'm sorry. I'm not paying 60 euros for polyester. You mean to tell me I'm buying 100% polyester and you want 60 euros for that?
The price is insane.
I don't, but I feel like that whole clean girl aesthetic also kind of it's just allowing companies to push something that looks high value, has the high price but a low value. Does that make sense?
I get what you mean. But in general, I just didn't realize maybe it's a community thing. Because that's where I also feel like the clean girl aesthetic is not for people that look like us
Nah,
here in this room.
Nah.
Because if you really want to look, if you go on Pinterest and put in clean girl aesthetic, it's not black people. It's literally the blonde women with their hair slicked back. Minimalist.
they're walking on a New York zebra path.
On that note, I think I remember when I used to like Google photos of black girls, so it's put in black girl.
But
and
that's how-
Google results will come back with
No,
a
but you
white
know what's
girl
crazy?
with
Whenever
black
I
hair
put in a
and emo
hairstyle, I have to put natural hair or black hair.
Yeah.
or afro.
Oh
afro.
my gosh. But yeah, no, I understand exactly what you mean.
So to me, it's like, who does clean girl aesthetic for? And is it being forced on my community? Because I wasn't
Yeah.
aware that this was a thing. I had no idea how to exist, but I thought that was for them. I didn't
I understand what you
I
mean.
didn't know that it was going to now trickling into like something I got to do.
Yeah, but I feel like, especially one thing I noticed when you, in Europe at least, remember when, at least for when I moved, everybody in the mother was wearing the Adidas Stan Martin, Stan Smith, Stan somebody, Stan.
I don't know which Adidas that be.
That's the one with the stripes, the standard Stan. Like for me, so just to put in perspective, for me when I moved here, I literally saw everybody wearing the same thing, and I feel like now that is the case, and that you do see a lot of girls in blazers and stuff. For them, they don't even care what your ethnicity is. They're checking like what are the masses wearing, and let's cater to that. And I find with PLT, that's a big disappointment for me at least, because I don't know. I feel like especially coming from the Caribbean, I wouldn't say I'm colorful, but we're colorful people. But I also feel like that applies to the variety in what we wear. And if you going to sell me like 5,000 different
It's
blazers,
literally,
what am I
no,
going
but not
to
only
do?
5,000 blazers, 5,000 different shades of beige.
Oh!
Like, it's like all the beiges in the world and pastels.
We getting so boring. Like, why am I don't get me wrong, you need those standard basics. You need your basics. But a basic is there to be elevated with something that's not basic.
But it's just basics.
It's just
On
basics.
the I did see like one or two things I would wear, but it's just like that. Like that hurt me. I'm sorry, but that really hurt.
R.I.P. PLT, but I think they're gonna go bankrupt from this. If you ask me honestly, I think now the girlies are doing. Huh?
I was gonna say something.
Say
so
it.
bad. No.
Oh, okay. Say it off camera, but say it on Patreon. But you know, I feel like the girlies are getting excited now. They're doing the hauls or whatever. 'Cause I saw a couple of hauls, but it's gonna die out if they don't give variety. How many times can you give us neutral colors until we actually get bored of it? Because your rebrand pushes neutral, modest, boring.
It
At
pushes
some
out
point-
specific. Like I guess that's another conversation of like to me. It had different style. Why just say it had different style? Now you have one specific style on the site.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Like, how much more you could do with that?
Nothing. So I can just wait for them to go bankrupt.
Oh,
Just to double check, like you said that they have like 5,000 of the same blazer or something. You said, or?
it's just a bunch of blazers in different like. So,
And
you
50
could,
shades
so
of
they
blue.
have like cut out blazers that could pair with a skirt
You got
or
pocket
a
blazers.
blazer dress.
The
Or
blazer
like
I wore for the live show, pretty little thing.
or a blazer with like a cutout hair or a low cut
Or a green blazer, or a brown blazer, or a
like
black blazer.
or like a corset blazer.
Yeah.
Or a corset that has
blazer
a
with
very
zips.
like, modest skirt.
A blazer with buttons.
Yeah. That's all they got. And maybe they have like a little jumpsuit.
Yeah, don't get me
Or-
wrong. They have jumpsuits. They have other
They
stuff.
still have tracksuits.
But yes, but seldom. Like they're in small quantities. But my thing is, don't get me wrong. If all you want to be modest, be modest. I am not a modest babe.
I was gonna say, because you think the older you get, the more modest you
Nope.
get. So okay, you think when you're 35, you're going to be more modest.
Okay, I won't be wearing. I probably will wear less crop tops because I am a crop top queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably wear more bodysuits, but I don't think I'll be very modest. I'm just not a modest babe. I love to show skin. And yeah, for me, I don't see that as something I need to change just because society sees that getting older, you should dress a certain type of way. Like genuinely, yeah, I got skin, I'm going to show it. I don't show it too much to the point where it's like you don't leave a space for imagination, but I show it to the point where it's like I feel good.
Yeah. I don't know. I go back to what I was saying. Like, it depends where I'm going.
But you
'Cause,
feel
like-
like you would dress more modest as the older you get? Or like if you have kids or something, because they say, when maybe become mothers, they feel like they have to dress a certain type of way.
Me?
No, just in general. Yeah,
But I do think that, like, I in a phase of, like, my style changing a little bit.
I hear it.
But I think, because I have my European style, I have my style when I go back home,
Yeah.
my vacation style. Like, it's an exciting thing for me to, like, shop for specific occasions. But I kind of feel that's what I mean. I feel like I'm forced to change my style because, like, the style online in general just changing. So it's like I'm trying to find who's Haiti within this new thing that being pushed. Like the new wave.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I still stick to things that look like me
Yup.
within things that not made for me?
Yup.
Because a lot of these clothes too, like a lot of those dresses, I know them dresses, they end here. By the time my Bamsi reach in that dress,
Done.
it's going to be up here.
Yeah,
And
Bamsi
then it's just
out.
like y'all are catering to like,
But maybe it's also just the whole, it's not just clean girl aesthetic, but the whole reason why Fashion Nova and all these websites blew up is because of like that whole Kim Kardashian
The BBL aesthetic.
BBL aesthetic. So
There's a
that
bunch
has-
of aesthetics online.
Yeah, and the BBL aesthetic is probably more on the Caucasian side aesthetic, while the BBL was probably closer to the body types of people that look like us. But now that it's switched and BBL is no longer the rave, yeah.
You
I was
also
gonna
think
say that.
maybe because people not going out as much anymore either. Because
I don't
fashion,
know.
fashion, Pretty Little Thing was also like for clubbing
Yeah, it was a lot,
stuff.
and Fashion Nova as well,
And I feel like clubbing declined a lot.
big time.
I don't know. I didn't see that as clubbing.
Yeah, man.
'Cause
It
you
was
could have
definitely
read-
clubbing. I would never buy anything. I never really bought I don't even think I ever bought from Fashion Nova. But if I thought about it, or the people that I knew that were buying from it, they tended to mainly buy for an event.
Like from PLT, most of my stuff is sweats or to go out. Like
Yeah,
the-
but I guess because like Fashion Nova though, like I was on that the other night, and if you just want a blouse, There's like 100 and something pages of clothes.
But Fashion Nova have ranges.
So it's like it's
sure.
a range. They had a time I do like a work haul on Fashion Nova. Even PLT, the other time I get a couple things for work. Or just like I was going on vacation, but I wanted like, not. I had my bathing suits, but I wanted like cover ups.
Yeah.
I wanted like nice tops for vacation, and they had. So I don't know. I never shopped to go out. Then you add a little couple dresses if you want to go out. But they always had a range. But I agree with you. I think like the whole thing now, and there's two conversations. I feel like there's a BBL aesthetic going away, and it's like a slim body is coming in, and that's what pushing the whole change in how you dress type thing. Even though Kim Kardashian's still dressing how she dress. Sorry, that's one of my guilty pleasures. Watching Keeping Up.
I've never watched like I watched episodes when people was watching it, but I never like steadily watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So I could understand why
they definitely changed their like body, but how they dress is still
the same.
But I hear somebody say that like the whole like being conservative and modest dressing sometimes for some women is like starting to push that, like, that's the way to get a man. So cover up yourself and da 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 da. It's projecting, to me, it's like pushing that whole narrative of like, then I'm the type of woman that you should want to marry.
Yes. I'm sorry, but if my man is not comfortable with me showing a little bit of skin, he's not my man.
Well, there's a couple of YouTubers that actually break this down. I'm trying to remember who. I think, Madison Brown, and I think maybe also another creator that talks about the clothing also being significant of the recession. So recession core.
Yes, I heard this. Yeah,
I saw that normally whenever there is a recession,
everybody
that people started to dress a bit more modest. A part of that is also because if you did have money, you're now trying to not be in the eye of everyone else. Could you become like a target, or you just don't?
Yeah.
So then you start to dress more modest. There's no like flashing around. While I guess in the opposite, I might be wrong. If you are if you're the group that probably suffers the most from the recession, it might be like a reverse psychology thing where you try to show out a bit more or dress like. Hence why the whole was it quiet luxury, or because this clean girl aesthetic and whatever they have on Pretty Little Thing is also just
quiet luxury
style.
Yeah.
And that's why to me it's like, who is it for?
People,
because people with money actually going to jump on the train, because it's not cheap. This clean girl aesthetic is not cheap, because if you break it down, and that's even the next thing of the clean girl aesthetic, because we're talking about the fashion, there's also the beauty industry now, where it's like you gotta have serums, you have to have toners, you have to have like your moisturizers, you have to have your sunblock, you have to have your concealer, your BBC cream, you have to have your bronzers to still give you. And it's like, but do the makeup that makes you still look like you have on makeup, but you don't have on makeup. But then all those things cost. And I see a video the other day that we have makeup with the recession, now the prices adjusted. So it's like foundations in Sephora for $60, $70, certain brands, and it's like, who gonna start
the foundations went up in price.
So like I feel like in different industries we starting to see the recession happen. So it's like first it was grocery stores, we was noticing it in there. Then we started noticing it with clothes, but now it's also like beauty. So it's like my favorite concealer now gone up to 40. Whereas it used to be 27 euros, guys.
That's a bit rude.
You sure it ain't tariffs?
Huh?
You sure it ain't tariffs?
What do you mean?
Tariffs.
As in to import them. Import tariffs. So
where
like
does your makeup
they
come
go
from?
up probably.
Is it European? Where you order your makeup
but
from?
also this TikTok was America.
Oh.
So it's like worldwide it gone up. Like makeup prices gone up in general.
Jesus.
But I don't know. And that's why to me is like this whole thing is not, and that's another conversation, is like back to the whiteness of like they're trying to make that a beauty standard, but that doesn't be for us.
No.
Because
by the way, in spirit of not paying an arm and a leg for stuff, guys, my hair is done with flaxseed gel that I made in my house. Boil some water, put 1/3 cup of flaxseed seeds in a jar, add the hot water, stir it. After like a couple of hours, stir it again, and then stir it again. you got gel.
Hey, would you mind watching a tutorial of Jody creating hair gel?
Listen, now
leave a
you
comment
giving me
below.
homework.
Yeah, please leave a comment below. And
I mean, I don't mind, guys. It gets a bit slimy at the end. But yeah, no, I would definitely do that. Like flaxseed gel. I did a whole wash and go with flaxseed gel. Great, guys. The only thing is sometimes you get this little cast. But you know what I do? I just lick my finger and...
Yeah,
you
but
can
you have
eat
that
it.
with any gel. A lot of
Exactly.
gels.
And you can yam that.
Actually,
So-
on that note, y'all were talking about skincare.
But don't yam it from your hair.
If you can't eat it, then it probably shouldn't be on your skin.
And you could put it on your face. You don't need to go buy this expensive Caudali mud mask for 60 euros. Just take...
I'm not gonna lie, that's what it does get me.
But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. But get a Aztec clay.
That's what it does get me. Like
But that's
one
the
thing, I'm
thing.
so big on skin. Like
Yeah, but that's the thing. You could be got. Like, but choose one. Because if they get you on clothes, skin, makeup, food,
they ain't
everything,
get to
you're
me. They ain't
screwed.
taking me out to art. They ain't
Nah.
taking me out to art. But where they might take me out is makeup and skincare.
For me, it's skincare. I think with makeup, I still a noob. So for me, it's just like a concealer. But I need to get a new one because I don't feel like it matching as much as it used to. And but with face, like with skincare, I overdo it. I have 3 Naturium, those glycolic. One is glycolic, one is silica, and then the other one is like a multivitamin. Yeah, I don't play when it comes to that. But I used to get overwhelmed in the beginning because remember when Korean skincare started to blow up and they showed you 5 different products of the same thing, which one to use in the morning, which one to use in the night, which one to use constantly. I had, not all, I had a lot that didn't make sense. Some I still have and I never used. And I started to realize less is more for me. I go to sleep, wash my face, put on my La Roche-Posay cleanser, and then wash that off, do my toner, put on my cream, and I go bed.
But that's why it's so funny because remember the live show, somebody was like, they want my skincare routine.
Yeah.
I was like, they have times where I really don't be doing that to my face.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was like,
I ain't got
water.
one. But honestly though.
Like, but now it depends on the season where I
Yeah.
just realize, okay, my skin's starting now to like act up or whatever. So it's like, okay, let me get back into doing something and,
That's the
so,
season I am
but then
now.
I would buy it. And that's the thing with me, I'm going to buy it. And when it finish, I can just go back to my water and sunscreen.
Really?
Yeah, I bring on sunscreen. That's one thing.
I know you
was
come for
telling
me,
them.
boy.
I was like, you gotta wear sunscreen.
I
Yeah.
don't give a shit about sunscreen. Sorry. No, but I'm wearing sunscreen. But I never used to care about sunscreen. But I guess that's because growing up in the Caribbean, I don't know about y'all, but we never used to really put on sunscreen unless we knew it was gonna be in the sun for the whole day, and our parents would be like, put on sunscreen. But other than that,
Meanwhile, we definitely should have been wearing it because we're in the Caribbean.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with the whole skincare and all of that stuff,
And lotion your neck. Sorry.
that part, and clean behind your ears. I feel the thing with the whole skincare and just like wellness and self-care and all of that shit, I feel like now they just selling us what we could get naturally. Because even micellar water, I'm sorry, but some of the ingredients you look at, and don't get me wrong, they have additives that are like preservatives and whatnot. But look at the flaxseed gel, for example. I just put it in the fridge for 5 days and I
You have
use
gel.
it every day. And then I literally would have gel for like 2 months with a whole pack of flaxseed and then water. So it's just that case of like, they're checking like, for one, you're not going to make it. You're not going to go to the Mojito and make a flaxseed gel. So we're going to sell you a gel that's already made.
Yeah.
And then for 2, is like, we're going to make you think this is even more beneficial because it has argan oil and it has tea tree drops and but then it has a whole bunch of shit that you don't know the name of and you don't know what it is. So you don't even realize like what you putting on your skin. But I don't know, I think in one episode I said this and I fell victim to this. I have a red light therapy lamp, but red light therapy, you pay what? 200 euros for a lamp.
You pay 200 euros for a lamp?
Don't ask me my business. Whereas you could go
You tell us your
watch
business.
the sunset and rise and you get like the same amount of melatonin production as you would with red light therapy. But it's just that case of like, we just so disconnected. Even Vibrams. The fact that you need shoes to be your feet so that you could get at least a little bit close to touching grass or just feeling the form of earth, because a lot of people get feet problems because we're not supposed to be wearing shoes. We're supposed to be barefoot. So it's just that case of like they sell us things that take us further away from nature, and then they sell us things that bring us back to what they took us away from.
But that's even like also hair care. Like a lot of hair care products is really just a bunch of natural. Well, if you go with the brands that try to be natural or sell themselves as natural, because like, you could make that at home. There's so many women on YouTube that been like. You could you could follow the whole journey that they documented with just the natural products they use. That this woman I've been watching, her hair
flourishing. But you know what they say? They say like you have all these TikTok videos of what to do. You have all this information, and it's like the 80-20 rule. Only 20 people going to actually, and they say not even 20. They say about 3% of people would actually go and do something, whereas the others just taking the information and save it. I am the others. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm also the 3% because with a flaxseed, with certain things, I'm the 3%. Just because I'm really curious about how it could benefit me.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you how many videos I have saved in my TikTok or in my phone of
I'm
like.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 years ago, they still there catching dust.
I need to clean out my real collections.
Facts.
But every time I just be like, next summer I'm going to like do some of the things in this collection.
And then you 10,000
and then
new
next summer
collections.
come and I have more collections. Like, this is ridiculous.
It just piles up. But
sometimes I just hope that you guys don't open up my chat from the Bite the Bullet Instagram, because it's literally just me sending myself stuff from the collection.
You did be sending yourself stuff?
It says it's called Shit Kristen Likes.
I saw
That's
that
the name of
in
the
the
collection.
saved. When I tried to save something, I saw the folders and I saw shit Kristen likes. I was like, I understand. Fully.
But you know what? I just had to just send it. I just beyond the BTB Instagram, I just send the video to me.
But you have to comment, tag all yourselves, engagement. Just be like, Katie.
Actually,
I'm telling you. You know, I did that once and people liked my comment.
But I don't want people. I don't want people to know what I want for myself.
Yeah. Well, it depends.
Sometimes it depends.
They had an oxtail mac and cheese.
Okay,
tag yourself in it, because you never know, somebody gonna be like, oh, she want oxtail mac and cheese.
Let me start up.
Hint.
No, I have a lot of those things though, like food, nails, you know. So
for me, it's mainly food, and I've been on a detox. But yeah, of course, you know, sometimes gotta check the page. It's scary because I jump on it, it's just food, and I'm like, oh my god.
But you don't feel like you just follow any trend. So for me, it's definitely now. I went and buy like 2 things. No, this toner that everybody have, the 77.
I have it.
And also the red serum. No, it's not
the
not
red
on-
one. The
not
pampalum. No.
Oh.
But yes, I bought it. It's by my
bag.
neighbor because I wasn't home to pick it up.
See, like those are things. But also, when you was talking earlier with like one thing with clothes, I hate people having the same outfit.
I do.
But I'm not gonna lie, sneakers, I just jump on all the trends.
Oh no, sneakers I don't mind.
I love
Sneakers, I
a
don't
sneaker
mind.
trend. But that's also because when I have big feet, like I could actually jump on this trend.
No, but sneakers, to be honest, sneakers, I don't mind. Coats, like jackets, like winter coats, I don't mind too much. But I had to stop minding from the whole daily paper shit.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just aesthetic, for me, sneakers don't make your aesthetic, they add to your aesthetic. I feel like if you look at the overall aesthetic of people, it's the same aesthetic in different packaging.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes too loud for me. Where it's like sneakers, you know, like the New Balance 90.
Yeah. But also I could appreciate a good looking shoe.
That part.
You know?
Air Force Ones
They
all
don't
day.
include
Nah.
my sizes and all the things. So it's like at least I feel included here.
Yeah. But guys, Kristen, I was telling Haiti earlier that like I've been reading for time, right? So I haven't been watching TV or online stuff. Not even YouTube. That's how crazy it got. And I recently got back on Netflix. I started watching The Residency, which I love.
Love it.
But also, but my point from that, it felt like, you know, when you stop smoking weed for a little bit, I wouldn't know. We don't do drugs. We don't do drugs. Never mind. You know when you don't drink juice, and then you
Candy,
drink juice and
sweetie.
it's sweet. Like the sweetness that really hit you.
Yeah.
I had that with watching TV again. I sit down to watch TV and I got lost. First, I started watching Inside and then The Residency. And then my sister was talking about Adolescence. And then I started watching Adolescence. And guys, when I tell you, I was so into it, especially because Ashley Walters, I love him. But I kept saying Deshane. Like,
Shane. But you didn't find it so funny the little boy name was Jamie?
you lie.
The little boy name is Jamie. So he just kept saying, he was like, Jamie. I was like, Are you do this for
Are you do that?
spite?
Are you do that to remind us that you kill off Jay? Spoiler alert.
Exactly.
But for anybody who watching Adolescence or going to watch it, that's spoiler alert. So check the chapters and skip to the part where we stop talking about this.
But I do feel like TV is back.
44 on the time because I went to check to make
Bop,
sure
bop.
that I could put a marker for it.
Wait, side note, song of the week.
Oh,
forget.
Laho. I say Laho.
Yeah, you said Laho.
Yeah.
And Pity This Boy.
Minister of Enjoyment.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, but yeah, me. Yeah. Mine is Pity This Boy by Victony and Odumudu Black. It's Odumudu Black as like the...
Oh,
But he always starts his song. He just say, Hush, Odumudu Black. You don't hear that? Oh my gosh, every song.
You making fun of him?
No, I'm trying to imitate. I would never try to imitate
That's what he
him.
just say?
Okay, I'm not doing it justice, but that's what he does say.
Give us a sample.
Please, thanks. Hold on. I'm going to give you the exact sample of the song. Okay, wait.
Oh, yes.
Block.
I never really processed that he's saying anything.
Single song.
I just thought he just speaking a language I don't understand.
That probably. But he always ends it with his name, but he always extends the block. I love it.
I never realized that.
Oh my God. You know, when you hear another banger,
What's his name?
you know it's going to be good. When I hear that, I know the song going to be good. Odumudu Black. Anyways.
I can't pronounce that word. That's one word I can't pronounce.
Adolescent? Come.
Adolescence.
Yeah, man. But you just put emphasis on the O.
Adolescence. Adolescence.
Yeah, you got to put ado and adolescence.
Adolescence.
Ado has less sense.
Adolescence.
Wow. Adolescent.
It just sounds like a weird word. It's, you know, when you just hear certain words and it's like, that sounds weird. Who make that word? Adolescence.
Anyways,
Anyway.
Adolescent. How many times you said I know?
We're not going to spoil it because it's already a short series. It's only 4 episodes.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, go watch it now.
But the conversation is important.
It's very important. But basically, for the people who haven't watched it, who don't plan to watch it, it starts with Jamie Toe. They raid this family's house and they go and take the boy. He was 13 years old. Mm-hmm. And they take him on suspicion of murder. Mm-hmm. And as the story goes, you find out exactly what happened because they don't tell you who he murdered.
Oh, we don't know if he's guilty yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it turns out girl.
But you know already what happens.
So we find out
it unfolds, like you don't know in the very beginning why they come and raid the house and taking him. They just say suspected of murder.
And at the end of the episode, they reveal that a girl from his school was murdered.
Yeah.
And then they start to like question him and find out if he did it.
No, we can't reveal the best part of the show.
What was the best part?
That?
We got that's a
Flip that out. And people didn't watch it.
Is that allowed to laugh
but
at that?
that's for the people.
No.
What? Kristen! No.
No, I laughed at the fact that like
here.
You have to spoiler alert.
Yes, in the beginning.
Oh, I don't know if people should know that. You know they have a.
I don't know.
Wait, hold up. The people who here right now should only be the ones who either watched it or not going to watch it and just want to know the story. Or should I not say
that's the biggest part, the biggest key of that first episode.
Oh, but if I tell you that a boy say he do it, that's a big
But to
key
me,
too.
it's like the conversation of like.
Okay, let's get into the conversation.
The show is exploring little boys and it being like the whole red pill, blue pill incel conversation and boys not knowing how to express their feelings and go about the anger and how they see and view women.
Yes.
You know, and I like how they explore it through each episode within a different part of like what's going on in the story.
Sir.
So in the first episode was just us trying to find out what was going on. The second episode was him and the psychologist.
No, that's the third episode. The second episode was when they went to the school.
Oh, second episode was school. Yes.
See.
And then that's when we found out it was because he was being called an incel.
Yes.
And then
voluntarily celibate for the people who don't know what that means.
Yes. Third episode was the conversation with the psychologist. And then
the
the fourth
fourth was
episode,
father
the
birthday.
father and the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he going to do something that I'm not going to say because you're going to spoil it. But I spoil everything for you already, so you get peh.
Yeah.
I mean, if I you want to bleep it out, bleep it out. But I did say a spoiler earlier in the beginning.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Oh, but okay. So with this whole situation,
Yeah. What's your question? You had a question for us.
no, I didn't. Kristen, you had a would you rather for us. Sorry, guys, we're a bit chaotic today. Do you remember it?
Yeah. Sorry. I
You're
just
cracking
blanked out.
me up today, though. It's just gosh.
In case you guys haven't noticed, I'm on my meds. Would you rather be given the opportunity to relive your adolescence without social media or continue living life without it?
Relive my adolescence.
I didn't have social media in my life. Oh, well, I had High Five.
In my adolescence, I had social media. But like, until 17, you didn't have social media like
you
that?
have social media now. And the question is, or continue life without social media?
Blood clot.
I would have relived my childhood without it.
But the continue, so everybody or just me? Now you see how it is for us.
It was her eyes looking for the answer.
I wish the camera could have catch that.
I don't know. I
For
guess
me?
Because if no, it gotta be for you because else it
For
wouldn't
me,
exist.
it gotta be for everybody.
No, because then it wouldn't exist and they ain't have no FOMO of social media because nobody on it.
Which is great. Like for me,
Oh, boy.
if it's everybody, that makes sense. If it's just me, I could go on somebody's phone.
it's the world. It's the world. There's
Yeah.
No, so that just don't exist.
But I think move forward with that.
So you rather relive your childhood or you would like right
Can't
currently
relive
now?
my childhood.
Huh?
I'll probably relive my childhood.
Yeah, same.
But if you think about it, imagine a world where we don't have social media anymore. I think we will be happier.
this podcast would not exist.
I'm trying to think that like I do
YouTube
feel,
is social media?
Yes.
Oh, I take it back.
I
YouTube
do
is social
feel-
media?
I do feel a little connected to certain things, like, you know, back to last episode. Like, I do feel like I get to see little pockets of different things that, like, make me feel like, oh, okay. Oh, this is nice.
That's true. Plus, we get more
Ah.
access to people. Like,
Yeah.
probably.
Honestly, if I had to answer it, I don't think I would relive my childhood. I mean, I didn't really have social media, but we did have like
High five.
neopets.com and Barbie.com.
envy
It's
you.
not the same, but it's the first, it's the
Yo.
stepping stone.
My first email was Madison because of,
Oh my God.
what are those Barbies was called?
Madison, was Chloe one
There
of them?
had to be one named Chloe.
Chloe, Jay, no, that's the Brats.
Are you ain't going to want even see my
Trisha,
email.
My phone died.
Trisha,
Google
Trixie,
Madison the Barbie.
Madison,
Trixie.
But it was this site that I used to go on to play like,
Yup.
Barbie.com.
Yup.
I don't know.
I think it's Barbie.com because I went on the same. And my scene.
My scene.
My
Oh,
scene.
my scene. That's
My
it. It's
scene.
my
That
scene.
is my scene.
That's my
Oh.
scene. Yeah,
Oh.
Madison from my scene.
Madison from
Yeah,
my
I
scene.
have feel like her because she was the only black one, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
But yeah, that was like my only outlet out on the island. I think probably
Shoot
social.
fun.
I think social media basically made a space for a lot of people on an island because
Yeah,
there's not
that's
that much
true.
to do.
like I would continue with social media. So I would live my adolescence without it. If the world lives without it. Because maybe I would be grateful. Okay, I had that point in my life of like living adolescence without it. I think for us now it is more beneficial. Because as much as you have the bad side of social media, I do think like there's more exposure for us as a podcast. We get to reach more people. And is FaceTime social media?
Yes.
No, is it?
Yes.
Isn't it just communication?
It's WhatsApp. Well, yeah, it's communication, but like, you
but
could
it
also
is a
text.
social
What do you
media.
define as social media?
Let's find
Let's
out.
ask ChatGPT.
I'm asking Google.
We're gonna insert.
I feel like
a new
Google needs more
section.
Because if
love
it's
these
media where
days.
you could be social, then you would say FaceTime is that. But then that's also like for calling a person.
Well, it is a social media.
I would think it's
Okay. So websites and applications that enable users to create and share content
I'm not showing any content.
or participate in social networking. What happened? Why miss? Tell the class.
I was like, well, I'm not putting any content on FaceTime. And I was like,
Yeah. Now you can. A picture.
You could send. Yeah.
But anyways, I would.
But
Why are
okay,
you laughing like
but
that?
she get what I'm saying. But like I was saying that like
I don't. I
you
so
know what the
lost.
thing is. You know what's funny? If I have to tell all you all the problems, any kind of like problems with my students, I would say 95% of it is online shit.
Makes sense.
So it's like, oh, this person make a sticker of me on Snapchat and now they want to put it on Telegram. Or like
Sorry, I don't
she
mean to
say
laugh
this
at
and this and this on TikTok. Oh, and I literally had to sit down with 3 students because one was upset that she get blocked. And like that turned into a whole problem now within the class.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I mean, back then I used to get upset when people turned their screen black after they had beef with me. Because like, why are you asking for attention?
BBM.
Yeah, but now it's just more elevated.
Yeah, but I feel like you could also have issues because and there's
Wait, so what would you do then?
what do you mean? I said
So
I would
you would-
relive my childhood without it. But I don't really
okay.
feel like I mean I did I was heavy on high five and
Yeah.
like MSN though.
Yeah, same.
But I think I
feel
could
like
have do
those-
life without it though.
Yeah,
And
but that's because we got a
Facebook.
soft version of it. I think if you ask towards the end Gen Zer, they would say differently.
For sure.
But okay, but yeah,
Back to the show. Because the bigger conversation is like and they had a TikTok with what his name is?
Ashley Walters.
Yeah, he make a TikTok advertising the show where they was like talking about how him growing up, his father never talked to him about like being vulnerable and expressing
Yeah.
himself, and it's a bigger conversation of like, do men know like how to
Express themselves.
not only that, but what masculinity is? Because I feel like in the 3rd episode, that's kind of what she was trying to dig at to ask him about his father and like how his father, what kind of ways his father passed down on him for him to
Yeah.
have a relationship with a woman, or what kind of relationship he would have with a woman based on what his father had. Like, what was the example?
Yeah.
And I think that's something we talk about a lot here, that like men need to learn to be more vulnerable. And I do think if I look around, I would hope like the men in our generation are a little better at that, of like making sure that their sons, they express how they feel to their sons. They don't tell their sons that like,
Yeah. No, I find the crazy thing is that they kind of show you that he didn't really grow up in a broken home in that sense, but more so how external factors, like even in the schools and whatnot, how that influenced how he saw things. Like even the littlest thing, guys, from when the teacher was introducing the detective and she forgot the woman. Like they had these very little things that kind of pushed that whole idea of this whole red pill movement. So I do think his father had a temper, but I do think that was kind of I feel like that was a common temper. It wasn't a temper that would be like, okay, now you put this down on your child and he killed somebody from it. Does that make sense?
yeah, but I feel like they was exploring all the things that would contribute to it. Because I feel like there's in the last episode when he was questioning like, he keep asking himself is like, did I do this? Like that was his questioning. Like and then he analyzed like how his father was with him and how his father, he was like, I was never going to beat my son and that. But then he come to realize that he was just at a certain point he just stopped being there. And I think sometimes like some parents think like, okay, I in the house.
Yeah.
But also not being there is just as it has a detrimental as like showing up and actually being there so you could help guide them and coach them through whatever they was doing. Because they even say like he would come in his room and go in his room, but it's like
that makes sense.
That
though.
ain't really parenting.
No, especially when you have people like Andrew Tate pushing all of these
And
narratives.
I love that they literally mentioned Andrew Tate being a contributing factor.
Oh,
That was an episode.
I am so sorry I zoned out at episode 4.
No, it was episode in the school.
Oh,
It was a school
yeah. The
episode.
son was telling him about the things. Was it then?
I can't remember. But
Oh.
it was when we come to find out that online was a role
Yeah,
in everything.
but I feel like online was one of the tipping point roles in a sense of like, I don't know. I feel like it showed you in the series too how they had to beg kids to like put away their phones and stuff like that. So I feel like for them being constantly online, but also like having this whole red pill movement of, for people who don't know what the red pill movement is, really men like pushing this whole masculine narrative of they're superior and
Toxic
women,
masculinity.
yeah, women are inferior, they're fickle, they're
Sexism.
emotional, they're just there for pleasure, whatever. And the incel is more so people or men or both men and women kind of who find it hard to find love or a partner or dating or whatever. They kind of...
They just call women insults.
It was actually... The term came from a woman, a queer woman.
You have femcells.
But incel is involuntarily celibate, so it doesn't apply to like a gender.
I thought that was just a male thing.
Oh, but I know from the term itself, it was from a queer woman who like found it hard, and they actually have communities around it that aren't so negative, but now it's become more negative because you have the men.
It's become very negative.
Yeah,
There's
so,
online platforms and blogs where men talk about how they would like they literally, because there's this podcast I heard about that they literally talk about how they would describe how they would
unalive.
How they would unalive a woman in those like blogs and like.
But they even have a site called Red Pill, and they have a site called incel.is. Don't look it up, guys. But there's a clear aggression towards women, and now I feel like it's heavy amongst kids because even like when Jamie, the little kid, he was talking. Remember when they asked him about his mother, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, she cooks a good roast." And then when he was talking about his father, he was like, "Yeah, he's even nice to my mother. Like he's even," as if that's something that's like shouldn't be common. Like, oh my gosh, he's nice to a woman. But also they was mentioning, because somebody was deciphering, that in the beginning when he said he did nothing wrong, for him, he didn't see something so wrong in what he did, but he also kind of downplayed it by saying a lot of other guys would have SA her, but rather he just, you know. And then on top of that, he mentions the whole thing of like when she was at her weakest is when he tried to get her to date him because he felt like, okay, cool, now she's weak, so I could get in there. And then her rejecting him kind of led to that whole incident. And it's just a case of like that. So I don't think people realize how common that is from a place of like, even from the Caribbean, when you know you reject a man and they come with this whole F you and they start to disrespect you.
Yeah.
I have a story time, but it's heavy. I don't know if
the one you tell us they can be.
No. Oh, why tell you him?
When it was on that episode.
Oh no, I've never brought this story to.
Oh,
this is
that's Patreon content.
Yeah, I feel like it's also good for people to know these things just from a place of like. I mean it. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like some stories can be told on this platform more so because they're so important to understand that this happens on the regs. You can hear me?
Tell it.
I did. Okay, but it's a very trigger warning heavy. And my parents don't know this, but it's fine, guys. We'll talk about this before this episode comes out. But there was a time I was in St. Martin and I was staying with two friends. And we went Soggy. Soggy is a club in St. Martin.
People argue bar, but
Soggy Dollar Bar. Yeah, I think it was Jägerfest or something. But we went, and after the club, we was walking to go to my friend's car because we was going to go to McDonald's drive-thru. That's when they had the hot cakes. Anyways, this guy was walking behind us, and he was like trying to talk to us, but we wasn't really paying him attention. And I was like, "Yo, let me just go." And he heard that, and then he started cussing me. So he was literally like, let's say 3 steps behind me, and he there cussing, and just coming at me from a place of like, you see, is women like, are you know, I just come to have a conversation and da 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 da. And I was irritated, so I was like, I don't care, like I just wanted to go home. And then he started to walk next to me, and he was like fully yelling in my ear, and we was walking like. I think now he was walking towards the bridge. And they have that part, I think, before the bridge where you could park your car. And that's where we was parked. So we wasn't that far from it. But it felt like we was freaking far from it. And while we was walking, he's cussing me. And he literally told me, he said he would take me into, there was like a dark area. He was like, I would take you there and I would SA you, like right here. And he was like, yeah, don't mess with me. And I was like, what's happening? Like in that moment, I never expected that to happen. And the funny thing is there was a tourist, I think it was like a Dutch guy. He was walking like in the area and he started walking closer to me. And I'm not gonna lie, that's the one thing that like made me feel a bit safe.
But where your friends went?
I had a problem with my friends because they was in the front.
Oh.
And I, like, even in the car. So in the moment, I was in shock. Like, as I walk in, I was just like, okay. After he said that, I just shut up. Like, I didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left. The tourist guy, he asked me if I'm okay. I was like, mm-hmm. And then we got in the car and I completely lost it. Like, I broke down. But then I also went home. Like, I was staying in a hotel by myself. So I also went to the hotel and realized, like, what are you was doing in the front?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm in the back here getting cussed and threatened. And are you in the front? But we had a conversation. And I think it was also from a place of, like, them being in shock and not knowing what to do. So I kind of, I ain't gonna lie, guys. I had to kind of think from that point because it's like, what do you do? Because this guy was actually really aggressive. And I think for them, it's like, okay, what do we do? For me, I would have feel better if they kind of came closer to me because, like, guys, I'm in danger. But I think, yeah, I give them the grace of, like, you probably was in shock. But that moment for me was, I think, one of the moments where I didn't see it coming from a place of, like, all I wanted to do was go home. And all I did was, like, say, you know, we going home. And he took that as rejection and an opportunity to, like, make me feel extremely small by threatening me.
He literally threatened you.
Yeah. And you know what's wild? Like 2 years later or 3 years later, he messaged me on Facebook. Like, he slid in my DMs, not knowing that it was me he threatened.
You lie. What you say to
I
him?
shit you not. I didn't. I blocked him. Guys, I would not speak to this man. I shit you not. I know his full name. I could tell you his name after this, but I would not speak to this man. Because that was like, for me, that was just a place of like, But yeah, I survived.
Well, first of all, that shouldn't happen to you. So it's sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
And second of all, I don't feel like out of shock, you should go in front.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
I understand.
I don't give a fuck it is. You
I
don't go in
understand.
front. Like, the least you could do is stand next to you so you're not alone.
Yeah, big up the, I don't know if that tourist would ever
Big up
remember. Big up
Yoris.
the tourist. He looked like a Yoris.
I know
He
it was
fully
seen
looked like a
it.
Yoris.
I
He looked
felt
like
it.
he had looked like a Mary Sachet. Like, high key, he made me feel safe. He made me feel safe because I could see him in my peripheral. I didn't turn because, like, in the moment, I couldn't function. All I knew was put my left foot in front of my right, but I knew he was there. I could see him in my peripheral, so I was like, okay, cool. Nothing will happen to me, hopefully. Like, that's what I kept thinking in my head. But with my friends, I did kind of tell them off. When I got myself back together, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, are you? Y'all being in the front is wild. Yeah.
That's the next level. I ain't even wild.
But for me, I don't say this story from a place of like,
That's the issue.
no, I just say this story from a place of like, especially men understanding that this is a issue and it's such a big issue. Like, even from the little things the boy was saying, like, my father's even nice to my mother. There's some things guys say that shows you that they see women as inferior, but you don't grasp it because you don't think it's that big, or you don't think it's that like it wouldn't have an effect. But in situations where things could like spiral, them already having this seed that's planted could allow them to like harm a woman in a sense. And the funny thing is, they said that you have misogyny and misandry, and misogyny and misandry, they say, is like the hatred of men, women, whatever. But when men hate women, they hurt them, and when women hate men, they avoid them.
Yeah, that's hurt.
That's
Hurt. That's abandonment. That's hurt is hurt, I think, in my opinion. I know that it's not to say that physical is worse than the other. I guess physical pain because it shows, but I can tell you I would I don't know who I want to encounter. Somebody that look like they've encountered a lot of physical pain, or somebody that has encountered a lot of like emotional and mental pain, because that's stuff that isn't really dealt with.
But when you mean avoid them, you mean that they just don't engage with men.
Yeah,
Silent treatment. Yeah, or just
they don't
avoid
They just
men.
don't
cross
avoid
the
men.
road.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I see a lot of I had an issue with a lot of red pill men who I felt like they didn't know they was red pill men.
A lot of men don't know that they red pill.
Sheesh, man. I had a conversation. Sorry, what you was gonna say?
No, nothing.
But I had a conversation with a guy, and I told him like how much I appreciate when it's dark and guys are walking on the road, and maybe I'm walking in front of them and they will cross. I truly appreciate that because you make your presence, unfortunately, even if you're not somebody who gonna harm me, your presence unfortunately makes me feel like I'm in fight or flight. And he was like, but that's not my problem. Like, why do I need to cross the road? I was like, to make a woman feel safer. And he was like, yeah, but she should know that I'm not gonna do anything. I'm like, you know how insane it is to say that? Like, just listen to. I wish we was recorded so he could listen to that back and I could understand if he still
I
think.
hope we hear that.
But yeah,
No, but it was interesting just the conversations it was having throughout this series, and then even when she asked him if like your father have female friends, and he was kind of like, why would my father have female friends? But that's why to me it's like, and it's so funny because I feel like they played a line of the father not coming across like your typical masculine, like
over masculine,
or insect, like I guess
hyper masculine. What is it? Yeah.
Or just misogynistic or whatever. But then people don't realize that like it's sometimes also those ones that don't act like displayed so overtly that still have the hint of certain things.
Yeah.
Because it's like for him to crash out like that in episodes that already show that there's a certain layer there that like he pick up on.
It's true.
Period. And I don't know.
I think what you say though is very like that's a strong and key point I feel of this conversation. Is that the absence of the father could also contribute heavily to just how much the kid absorbs, because now he's going to look for other male figures, and that's where the Andrew Tates and the stupidity is coming. And I think that's what kind of pushed him to this place of seeing a girl so low that he would just, I can't say it because it's going to spoil it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point.
Kill her.
Tell the story.
Unalive her, sorry.
Yeah, but you already said that.
No. I mean, at this point, we don't kind of tell the whole
story. But they get a gist.
But I found it interesting when it was like, when the daughter was upstairs, it's like how we did a good job with what we do to rate her so well or something. And after the mother was like, yeah, it's the same thing we do for him. And I was wondering, I was going to ask, are you like, y'all think y'all would really know how to like if let's say you become the Virgin Mary today and you end up with a son inside of you. Would you really like? Would you feel like it's something you have the capabilities? Like I'm ready for this task.
I think just like our parents said on the episode, I don't think we'll ever be ready. But I would try my best to inform my son as much as I can, but also to expose them to certain things. Like not only inform them by talking to them, but I guess find ways for them to experience the lessons in what I'm trying to tell them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you experience it and when you actually feel the emotions that come with what I'm saying, it sticks more than if I was to just tell you. You would just think of that as fluff. But I would try to build the best relationship with my son. Yeah. Just because I know at least, okay, if he respects me and holds me in a high regard, he would apply that same perspective to other women, I would hope.
Yeah.
How would you approach it?
I also don't think it's some book that I need to know how to handle. It's something you go by day. But I do wonder, like, I guess when that time comes, is that like if there are certain things I'm going to actively make sure like I know what to do.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole other conversation of like a lot of people say that a woman can't teach a boy how to be a man.
Yeah.
Like you could teach him, like you could raise him and but it does always feel like you need a man there to also just show them what I is. Yeah. And I just wonder, like, I see a lot of single women do it.
Yeah.
Teach a man how to be a man, basically, or a boy how to be a man. But then I just wonder, like, am I, like, I know I'm able, but I just wonder, like, I think that everybody have that, like, where would I fall short? I think that's something, we were talking about the last book club thing, because a lot of people get deep about the relationship with their parents.
Yeah.
And then I was realizing a lot of them was talking about how, like, they feel like their parents fall short in certain areas. And then I was like, but for me, a big part of becoming a parent would be that, like, I know that there's certain things my child wants to put a mirror in front of my face too.
Yeah, 100%.
And I that's one of the most exciting parts to me. To like see what I have to do better or whatever. Because I feel like children are so brutally honest.
Wow.
So it's like
this next generation of kids are next level.
The alphas.
The thing is,
level,
if
guys.
you got if your kid isn't holding the mirror up to you, they holding that mirror up to your parent.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know. I find they're so honest, but I like it because it's like I also feel like you gotta meet that with being honest.
It's like they growing and you growing.
Yeah, at the same time, but also I feel like because they're so brutally honest, you need to also be so brutally honest with them.
Yeah.
And today I was on the phone. I was on the phone with a friend, and then after one of them come in my space to see who I on the phone with, because the bell ring. Yeah. I was like, "You don't think this is a little close?"
Yeah.
He was like, "You're right."
But they don't respect it too.
And then he walk away. And it's like I don't know, like you gotta give them that kind of honesty, because
yeah.
But
I had a question off of this.
oh yeah,
Because the show itself highlights was very apparent in society, especially among like little boys. If there was to be a show for St. Martin that would highlight something that you feel like should have awareness, what would it be?
we'll be starting. It's like
Which season?
I mean, like there's the typical Caribbean ones where it's like we don't discuss like essaying, we don't discuss those kind of things. There's that, and PDF files.
Yep.
Files.
Yep.
We
Shout out
don't,
Adobe.
we don't, we don't discuss on the Caribbean. There's that. I know you say that too a lot in Sable, but that was gonna probably be your answer.
Abuse.
100%.
That would have been my answer.
There's that
100%.
as well. But as in line with this conversation,
Yeah.
there's other things, of course, like just
Fixing the roads.
like education system.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think about how, like, I connected with the island, but I connected with my generation of the island.
I understand.
So it's like I wonder what the next generation going through and what people facing, and to know.
Yeah.
To be honest, for me, it looks very bleak. I don't like what I see online.
I ain't gonna lie, they got these kids with a TikTok I think is lit. Big up are you? I don't know your TikTok
I
name.
don't. I
Don't
think I
want-
know which one
Oh,
you're
the
talking
TikTok
about.
is so, they had a recent one where how fellas approach
Yes,
girls. Yeah.
exactly that
Big
one.
up are you?
That's the
I
way
don't-
where they have on the uniform
yeah,
sometimes.
a purple
Yes,
uniform.
Ah,
Yeah,
love
if you
are
guys-
you.
love are you.
Shout out to us.
Yeah, bye.
Guys, if you guys have the tag for that,
Yeah.
TikTok.
I don't find them.
We go.
Because I saw the reel, I like it, but then realized I wasn't logged in. So when I
Yeah.
went back to go find it, it had disappeared.
Nah, but they hilarious.
I think one of them makeup video where he was like, I tired of these talking stages, talking stages, talking stages. I tired. I don't want to know your damn color. I don't want to know your damn favorite color.
Yo, they bring me so much life. But even when they calling the girl, they was like, how men call girls. And the first one was like, psst, psst, psst. And then they had the one where he got a girl. And the girl was walking past him. He was like, but give me your number now. She was like, you ain't with Jessica? I was like, that ain't changed.
Oh no.
I feel like some things stay the same. But yeah, I would actually be curious about what's going on.
Yeah, like I want to know. I know my brother said like they're still dealing with the same thing up here, motivation. Children up
Yeah.
here just lacking motivation to just
Do stuff.
also just school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would want to know. What would be your answer?
But yeah, the physical abuse by. Because it's so normal. Like, I wouldn't say, I don't know how it is now. I haven't been on the island for 9 years. However, I do hear things. And I do still feel like abuse is just,
Normal.
yeah, they just see it as, oh, thump up real quick and then, sorry, trigger warning. But then, I let out my anger and that's how I let it out and that's fine. You still gonna love me at the end of the day. And I think that is just, there was moments I had to put makeup on one of my friend's bruises. I think that's insane. Like, and then she went back. Like, what? I don't know. For me, I would find a show that highlights that from both sides. From the side of seeing it as something that shouldn't be normal, but also from the side of finding a way to communicate a message to the women to turn a knob that helps them realize that their worth and their value is strong and strong enough to like leave the situation. But it's hard to talk on that because
It's hard because it's like you gotta give people the space to be ready to leave those situations, and it's not something you could wake up and do one day.
Nope.
But
That's
I
why
get
I
what
want
you
to plant a
if you
seed or
instill
something.
certain things, they would
Yeah.
have it in them to like leave on the. A funny show would be like how people mind each other business, and like
You know what? Even
all the
funnier
dramas.
show
Yeah.
would be how people like and subscribe.
I was waiting.
Wow, that would be the funniest show on any platform. Like, you would get Netflix deals, Apple deals if you just like, subscribe, comment. If you on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating because I feel like we deserve it. And yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
But this was a very intense episode. However,
It's a
it
good
was a
episode.
very necessary episode.
It was.
We went from
guys.
clean girls to dirty men. Look at us.
That's the name of the episode.
That is the name of the
That is
episode.
the name of the episode.
I feel like it's hitting all the SEO goals right now.
100%.
Clean girl.
But
to dirty
honestly,
man.
my message, at least for the guys out there, if your boys or even if you like accept that you could be flawed, that's one thing. We all need to accept that we could be flawed because that's the only way we can actually move forward. But if you or your boys have certain tendencies that you realize kind of goes against women to a level that could get dangerous, speak on it. Like, speak to somebody about it, journal about it, speak to yourself about it, talk in the mirror about it, but speak about it, get it out of your system, and find a way to get it out of your system. Because it really could grow into something that you probably don't want in the future, or the other people don't want. So, yeah.
And if you're not aware of it, I feel like a big thing of like wanting to learn and like going out there, looking at what you need to look at, read what you got to read, to be aware of the things you're probably doing or your friends probably doing if you don't feel like you have the knowledge or educated about it.
Yeah.
That's the first step, guys.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to signal it or notice the behavior if you're not aware that is the behavior that you shouldn't be having.
And be okay with knowing that you're doing bad things.
Yeah.
Because, I think a lot
Be
of
what
people...
you said?
And it sounds messed up. It sounds messed
I
up.
just heard what you
And you're like, yeah, no, it sounds messed up. But like, be okay with knowing that you could have done or do things that fall in the spectrum of misogyny or just bad. Does that make sense? So not bad in the sense of like borderline terrible.
Yeah.
But that too, just from a place of like a lot of guys don't want to look at themselves in the mirror because they're too scared of the reflection. You understand? Or even people in general.
But you have to be willing to look at the mirror.
You have to be willing, but that also comes from a space of like, hold yourself accountable, realize and be knowledgeable of what you could do to make steps to get better. But also, and this could be like but give yourself grace as you go into that. Because I feel like we can't grow, especially as men or women, if our ego is there from a place of not wanting to be bad or being like, oh, I could never, that's not me. But also if our denial is there. I feel like denial comes
from... It's a river
from
in Egypt.
that part. And that river flows with you not accepting that you do bad stuff. And I think accept it. Apologize.
I don't know about accepting it. I think be accountable of it.
No, but
accept that part, that's how you are.
Accept that is who you are, because I think
not who you are, but how you are right now.
Sorry, yes, how you are, because that's not who you are. But I think what's hard, because I noticed this projects onto other people too. Like, we have to accept ourselves at the end of the day, even for the bad things. And I think that's hard for us to do, which I do understand, because it's like, for one, now we have society having an eyeglass over everybody and also canceling everybody. And I think you should hold people accountable. I just feel like in order for us to grow, or in order for the men to know what they're doing, in order for women to know what we're doing, we have to be able to accept that we could do things that are bad. But that's the first step to holding ourselves accountable for those things. Because if you don't accept it, you don't see it and you're in denial of it. So it's not accepted from a place of this is acceptable. It's accepted from a place of this is something I have done. And now hold myself accountable. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess to my head is like being accountable already means that you accept it. But maybe it's...
Yeah, being accountable, because accepting is just accepting it, and then it could be passive.
And then it's like, this is something I do.
And then,
that is messed up. No.
So it's like, if you're accountable, then you aware of the fact that like, okay, this is something I just do.
Yeah.
And I don't want to continue being this way.
And like, if you needed like any kind of additional motivation to actually get the work done and like face it, whatever it is in life currently that you feel the world is against you or you being blocked, the answer is in the work you're not doing.
That part. And the work you're not doing is not subscribing. I didn't see you click that button, so get to it.
But guys.
Yeah, this is the end of the episode.
And we're going to end it here.
We hope y'all have a beautiful day
on Patreon.
Goodbye.
Yes. Bye.
That was intense.